Hey everyone, I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know mine was pretty busy with the kids. Last week we left off looking at fractions. So that's where I want to pick up today. Down here we'll go over this again about changing mixed numbers into improper fractions with common denominators. So the first thing we went over is that we have to look for the least common multiple for both the denominators. Over here we have 3 and 4. So we came up with the least common multiple is 12. So once you multiply them by the least common multiples and you get them over the same denominator, then you can add them, which will give you an improper fraction. And we talked about seeing how many times the numerator will go into the denominator. That'll give you your whole number, and the remainder left over is what will be your new numerator. So up here, the first thing we're going to look at is the second one. And they're both over the same denominator. So when they're both over the same denominator, you can just add them normally. So we're going to add the numerators together, which is going to be 2 plus 2 is going to give us 4. Over 3. And 2 and 1 is going to be 3. So we still have an improper fraction. So 3 goes into 4 one time. So we're going to add one more to our whole number, which is going to bring that to 4. Three divided by 3 times 1, is 3. So our remainder is going to be 1 over 3. So if we look over here, we're going to find 4 and 1 over 3, which is h. Okay. Down to our next one. For our denominators, we have 3 and 12. So the least common multiple, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change these to improper fractions. So you're going to multiply 8 times 3, which is 24, and then you're going to add 1, which is 25. So this is going to change into 25 over 3. Twelve times 3 is 36, plus 1 is 37, so this is going to be 37 over 12. Okay. Now our least common multiple for both of these is 12. So we have to figure out 3 times what is 12, and that's going to be 4. So let's find a different color. We're going to multiply this times 4. Okay. So 3 times 4 is going to give us 12. So we're going to have I can get it to work. Okay. And then we have 25 times 4 is going to be 100. So we have 100 over 12. Okay. 100 over 12 minus 37 over 12. So we're going to subtract the numerators, which will give us 100 minus 37, which is going to be 63 over 12. Okay. Then we have to change this from an improper fraction into a mixed number. So we have to figure out how many times does 12 go into 63 without going over. So we look at our 12 times table, and the most we can get to 63 without going over is 60. So it's 12 times 5. So we're going to have 5 as our whole number. This does not want to cooperate tonight. So our whole number is going to be 5. 5 times 12 is 60. So 63 minus 60 would be 3. So we're going to have 3 over 12. But that is not in simplest form because both 3 goes into both 3 and 12. So 3 over 12 can be reduced to 1 over 4. So we're going to look for 5 and 1 over 4, which is down here. So our next letter is going to be O. Okay. Now down here for this one, we only have one fraction. So we're only going to subtract the whole numbers. So it's going to be 7 minus 2, which is 5, and 1/3 minus nothing, which is going to be 1/3. So our answer is going to be 5 and 1/3. Okay, and 5 and 1/3 is up here, and that letter is going to be E. So our first word in our tongue twister is shoe. So let's move down to the next one. We have to change both of these into improper fractions. So again, we do that by multiplying the denominator times the whole number, and then we're going to add the numerator. So 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Going to give me a text box. So we're going to have 7/3. Okay, so this is going to be 7/3. Plus 12 times 3 is 36, plus 5 41/12. Okay, now we have to find the least common multiple in both of those. So in 3 and 12, our least common multiple is going to be 12. So again, we're going to have to multiply 3 times 4 to get 12. So we have 3 times 4 will give us 12. Because 12 is the least common multiple that goes into both 3 and 12. So whatever we do to the bottom, we also have to do to the top. So we multiplied 3 times 4 to get 12. So now we're going to multiply 7 times 12. 7 times 4, which is 28. So our fraction is going to be 28/12. So we have 28/12 plus 41/12. So when you're adding fractions, you add the numerators. So we're going to have 41 plus 28 is going to be 69. So we have 69/12 as our improper fraction. Okay, now we have to figure out how many times 12 can go into 69 without going over. So if we go back to our multiplication chart, to our 12 times table, the closest we can get to 69 without going over is 60, and 12 times 5 is 60. So our whole number is going to be 5. 5 times 12 is 60, so now we have to subtract the numerator from our whole number. So 69 minus 60 is 9, which is going to give us 9 over 12. But that is not in simplest terms. So now we need to reduce our fraction. We need to figure out what number goes into both 9 and 12. So if we go back over here, 3 goes into both 9 and 12. 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 4 is 12. So our fraction would be reduced to 5 3/4. Hi, Nathaniel. So 5 3/4 is S. So that's what our next letter is going to be. Down here for the next one, we're going to change these into improper fractions. So to do that, we multiply the denominator times the whole number. So we have 12 times 2, which is 24. And then we need to add the numerator. So we're going to have 24 plus 7, which is 31. So over here we're going to have 31 over 12. Over here we have 4 times 1, which is 4, plus 3 is 7. So we're going to have 7 over 4. Okay, then we need to figure out what the least common multiple of both 12 and 4 is. So if we go back over here, we're looking for the least common multiple of 4 and 12, which is 12. 12 times 3, I'm sorry, 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 times 1 is 12. So back over here, we need to multiply the 7 over 4 times 3 so that we can get the denominator to be 12. So we're going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator times 3. Okay. So 4 times 3 is 12. And 7 times 3 is 21. not look like a 21. Okay, we're going to have to pretend that that says 21. So now we have 31 over 12 plus 21 over 12. So when we're adding fractions, we just add the numerators. So we're going to do 31 plus 21, which is 52 over 12. Okay. To change this back into a mixed number, we have to figure out how many times 12 goes into 52 without going over. So we go back to our 12 times table. And we see how close we can get to 52 without going over, which is 48. So we go over here and we see that 12 times 4 is 48. So our whole number is going to be 4. And we're going to do 52 minus 48, which is 4 over 12. Okay, 4 over 12 is not in simplest form, so we need to figure out what it can be reduced to. So 4 goes into both 4 and 12. 4 times 4 is 1, and 4 times 3 is 12. So it's going to be 1/3 is what it's going to be reduced to. So our answer is going to be 4 and 1/3. Which is H. Okay. On our next one, we need to convert it to an improper fraction, so we're going to do 9 times 4, which is 36, plus 3, which is going to be 39 over 4. Okay, over here we're going to do 2 times 4, which is 8, plus 1, which is 9. So it's going to be 9 over 2. This does not want to draw a 9. Okay, we're going to pretend that looks like 9 over 2. So now we need to find the least common multiple between 4 and 2. So if we go back to our multiplication chart and we look at 4 and 2, we see that 4 goes into both of them. So our least common multiple is going to be 4. So this one is already over 4. We don't have to do anything to it. Over here, we're going to have to multiply 2 times 2 to get 4. And because we multiplied the bottom times 2, we have to multiply the top times 2. So we're going to do 9 times 2, which is going to be 18. So we have 18 over 4. Okay. Now that they're both over the same denominator, we can subtract. So we're going to subtract 39 minus 18, which is 21 over 4. Okay, now we need to convert it back into a mixed number. So we have to figure out how many times 4 goes into 21 without going over. So if we look at our 4 times table, the closest to 21 we can get without going over is 20. And 4 times 5 is 20. So our whole number is going to be 5. 5 times 4 is 20. So we're going to subtract the 21 from the 20, which leaves us with 1 over 4 left. And 5 1/4 is the letter O. Okay, for our last one, you're going to multiply 3 times 6, which is 18, plus 1 is going to be 19. Over 3. Six times 1 is 6, plus 5 is 11, over 6. Okay. We have to figure out the least common multiple between 3 and 6, which is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. So we're going to put this fraction over 6. So we multiplied the denominator times 2, so we have to multiply the numerator times 2. So we have to do 19 times 2, which is 38. So we're going to do 38 minus 11, which is 27. So we have 27 over 6. To convert this into a mixed number, we have to figure out how many times 6 can go into 27 without going over. So if we look at our 6 times table, the closest we can get to 27 without going over is 24. And 6 times 4 is 24. So our whole number for our last one is going to be 4. And then we need to subtract 24 from 27, which gives us 3 over 6. 3 over 6 is going to, it's not working, but 3 over 6 is going to reduce into 1/2. So our answer is going to be 4 1/2, which is P. So our last letter is P. So the answer to our tongue twister is shoe shop. Alright, I will see you guys all later this week to finish off this packet. If you have any questions, you can email me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.